Time for chapter 24. It's time. Cameras are rolling, someone calls out. In 5, 4, 3, 2. He points at the man in center stage. The moderator, a slim guy with hair that looks like it's been glued into place, brushes a speck off his tuxedo, adjusts his red striped tie, and begins speaking right on cue. Good evening, he says, with a perfect modulated voice that announcers are born with. My name is Charles Kingsley, and we would like to invite you to welcome you to the Whiz Kids Southwest Ohio Regional Competition. Cheers all in the audience. In 2 weeks, the winner of this competition will travel to Washington, D.C. to represent our area at the national championships. More cheers. We wish the best of luck to all of our young competitors. The studio quiets down. The rules are simple, Mr. Kingsley explains. Teams will be asked 25 questions. Each correct answer from each of the 4 team members is worth 1 point, so the maximum total score is 100 points. He pauses so cameras can show the scoreboard. Then he announces the 2 teams with the highest scores from all preliminary rounds will meet for what we call a quiz-off, so total points are critical. The winner of the final set of quiz questions will be declared our local elementary school level champion and will proceed to the nationals in Washington. The team that emerges as the winner will appear on live national television on Good Morning America the next morning. Cheers and applause. The first 2 teams that will be competing tonight will be Woodland Elementary and Spalding Street Elementary. Take your places, ladies and gentlemen. The 4 contestants from Woodland and the other 3 members of our team walk to the testing area, wave at the camera. Catherine rolls me into my position, makes sure I can reach the buttons, and then gives me a quick hug and walks away. I'd like to take a moment, Mr. Kingsley says, to introduce a very special participant in our competition. Her name is Melody Brooks. The cameras all point in my direction. The studio lights are bright and hot. I blink and feel damp and sweaty. Although all the other contestants will stand, Melody will be seated as she answers the questions. We made adjustments to the answer board so she can access the buttons, but nothing else, and I hear she's a fierce competitor. I try to wave, but figure I look goofy and wobbly, so I just put my hand down. Rose stands next to me, Connor is in the middle, and Claire is on the farthest end. I feel like I'm gonna throw up, I hear Claire whisper. Don't you dare, Connor hisses. We're going to start with a practice round so everyone can familiarize ourselves with our button system. Is everyone ready? Which of the following is a mammal? A, cat, B, bird, C, turtle, D, spider. Everyone, of course, pushes A. The screens in front of us light up with the letter A. Don't you wish all the questions would be that easy? Mr. Kingsley asked, chuckling. Yeah, right. Now, remember 2 things, he reminds. First, this is a team competition. Second, this is not a test of speed, but of accuracy. Teams get more points if all 4 contestants come up with the right answer. And the 2 teams with the most points will meet for the finals. Is everyone ready? Ready, say the 7 contestants on board. I start to hit the word ready, but I decide I'm just going to concentrate on the contest instead. Round 1 has 25 questions, so let us begin. Number 1. I tense up. Here we go. The average lifespan of an adult mayfly can range from A, 1 minute to 1 hour, B, 30 minutes to 1 day, C, 1 day to 1 week, D, 2 weeks to 1 month. Bing, 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 bing. Everyone rings in with their buttons. Once all answers are locked in, the readouts are displayed. Everyone on our team answered B. 1 person on the Woodland team answers A. B was 30 minutes to 1 day. Mr. Kingsley smiles and says Woodland gets 3 points. Spalding now has 4 with all correct answers. We can do this. I can do this. Bring on the next question, I think. Number 2. The battles of Lexington and Concord in the American Revolutionary War were fought in what year? A, 1774, B, 1775, C, 1776, or D, 1777. This one's a little tricky. I press B, however, so does everyone else, and the score is now 7-8. That was 1775, by the way. Mr. Kingsley continues. In literature, the word oxymoron means which of the following? A combination of contradictory words. B, the outcome of a situation of sequencing events. C, an implied reference to a literary or historical event. Or D, a symbolic story or narrative. I'm pretty sure the answer is A combination of contradictory words. But that word could mean a big-headed crippled kid who thinks she could win a national quiz competition. When the answer is shown on the screen, Connor got it wrong, but so did 2 members of the Woodland team. Now the score is set at Woodland 9, Spalding 11. We're still up, but there are 22 questions still to go. The next question, Mr. Kingsley says, deals with math. Oh crap, I think. There are 2,357 paintings in an art museum. The museum has 124 rooms. What is a reasonable estimate for the number of paintings in each room? You guys can do this. A, 10, B, 20, C, 60, D, 200. Yep, I'm dead. Rotten meat. Let's see, I need to visualize a museum. Rooms and paintings. How many are in a room? Not sure. Divide what into what? Not sure. I'm going to say 60. When the answer flashes a B, I feel like an idiot. But Rose got it. B is 20. But Rose got it wrong too, and so did 2 kids on the Woodland team, so the score stands at 13-11. By the time we get to the 25th questions, I am sweaty, thirsty, but I'm excited. The lead bounced back and forth between our 2 teams a couple of times. Sometimes they were ahead, sometimes we forged ahead. I got most of the language arts questions right, but the math questions did stump me. Connor can't spell, so he missed a couple of those. Rose is a bit weak in history, and Claire has trouble with science. The Woodland team was about the same. Some kids good in some areas, other kids good in others. We now come to the final question of our first 2 teams, Mr. Kingsley announces. He clears his throat and begins. A weather event that measures 6.5 on the Richter scale would be a what? A, tornado, B, hurricane, C, earthquake, D, tsunami. Bing, 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 bing. I punch C and relax. I do not have a tornado spaz. Connor, Rose, and Claire all got that question right as well. 2 people on the Woodland team answered hurricane instead. When the results are tallied, our team has a total of 81 points and Woodland ends up with 77. Congratulations, Spalding, Mr. Kingsley says. The 2 highest scoring teams will meet for the final round later tonight. Good luck. We hope to see you again. Victory, round 1. As the show breaks for a commercial, we're all escorted to a special waiting room in the back. The students from Woodland look really disappointed. That's it for them for the whole competition. All they can do is watch as the next 2 teams head to the stage for their session under the lights. Mom, Dad, Penny, Mrs. V, and Catherine are all waiting to hug for me in the back room, hugging and kissing me like I won the lottery or something. Catherine does a little happy dance, and Dad tells me he filmed the whole thing with his camcorder. You rocked, Melody, Mrs. V shouts. I'm so proud of you, my mom says. Can I have a Coke? I type quickly. I'm breathless. Everyone laughs as Catherine rushes to find me a paper cup for the sodas that are sitting on ice in the waiting room. Mom pours dribbles of ice-cold Coke into my mouth, 1 sip at a time, making sure I don't spill on my shirt. I'm so thirsty, I don't even care that other kids are looking at me. Mr. Deming, after talking to Rose and Connor and Claire, bounds over to us beaming. This is such a thrill, Melody. You were amazing. I'm so proud of our team and extremely proud of you. Thanks, I tap. What's next? Well, we need to wait for the next 2 teams to compete, and then we'll meet and beat the other high-scoring team, and then we will pack our bags for Washington. Don't pack yet, I type with a grin on my face. I've been packed for 10 years, he tells me. I've been waiting for the right team, and this is our year. I just know it. He wanders off to talk to the other parents. I never thought about what teachers dream about. I had no idea this was such a big deal to him. Rose comes over and squats next to Penny. I like your hat, she tells Penny, who's holding Doodle and wearing a blue polka-dotted hat with a red feather. Wosie, Penny says gleefully. How's my favorite baby girl? Rose says in her whispery voice. Wosie, Penny repeats. You did really good, Melody, Rose says to me. You too, I type. Do you think we have a chance to get to the finals? Yep. Washington? Yep. Being on Good Morning America? Oh yeah. Claire stays on the other side of the room with her parents, but Connor hands over and stands next to Rose. You're okay, Melody says. You even beat me on a couple of those. You rock at math, I tell him. I know, he says with a grin, but I don't spell well. I hope there's no spelling questions in the finals. I gotta go to the bathroom, Rose says suddenly. I'm so nervous about the finals. She hurries out. I know what she means. Butterflies. I mean moths. I mean giant bumblebees are buzzing inside me. When we were on the camera, it felt like it took 1,000,000 years to complete our round. But in just a few minutes, the second set of contestants come back to the waiting room. The school with the little crowns won round 2 with 79 points. Then within another half hour, Edison Elementary clinches the third round with a score of 80. Finally, a school called Perry Valley wins the fourth round with 82 points, just 1 point more than us. I watched them, Mrs. V says when they troop back to the room. They were really good. Should we worry? I ask. Of course not. Your team is the best because they have a secret weapon. You. Suddenly, there's a rush of activity in the room and stagehands come to get us. Perry Valley and Spalding Street, we need you back on camera for the finals. You are the 2 top scoring schools. Congratulations. We hurry back to our places. The lights are brighter this time. Mrs. Kingsley returns to his position, gets his microphone adjusted by the stage crew, and shouts, "Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the final round of the Regional Whiz Kids competition. The winners of this round will represent all of us in Washington, D.C. in 2 weeks. All members of the winning team, along with their chaperones, will receive an all-expense-paid trip to the nation's capital, 3 nights in a hotel, and tours of the city. Trophies, someone yells. Oh yes, the famous Whiz Kids Championship Award. The winning team in Washington gets to take home a huge golden trophy, receive a guest appearance on Good Morning America, and their school will receive a check for $2,000 for academic endeavors. There's lots of excitement of that. Let us begin, teams. Are you ready? Ready, they say, and I am ready too. That's it for today.